Okay. That's good enough for me. Groovy. Oops. Looks like I need to clean that again. There we go. Howdy, folks. My name is Dave, and I'm a woodturner. Welcome to the channel. Today, I'm going to finish up one of my smaller or miniature birdhouses, and then I've got another piece we're going to throw on the lathe that's was just taken today. Was just taken. Well, it makes it sounds like I went deer hunting or something, or bagged of whatever. Anyway, this was harvested today. Had to I helped a couple guys out cut up a almost 4 foot wide maple. I think it was 80 feet tall, and
Carterry Knoll said, "What are you making?"
hey, how are you, Carter? Carter Reynolds, yeah. The speech says Carteret Nold. Anyway, today I'm going to work on finishing up a miniature birdhouse. Then I've got another piece of maple that I harvested today. It's a kind of burley with some bark inclusions in it. I don't know if it will survive the lathe or not.
Awesome.
But I've got another piece too. Actually, I've got quite a few I brought home today, but I've just got two set up. One is a cross piece. This is a burl, burly kind of piece. It looks like it also had possibly a branch coming out. I don't know. So we're gonna play around with that and see what comes of it. But anyway, let's get started here. I've got. So thanks for joining me. I've got a miniature birdhouse here out of cherry that I need to finish up. Need to. That's yeah. I'd like to finish up. Let's put it that way. Is need to if I don't know. So let's get this dude set up in the chuck. Grab some safety glasses. Set that over there. Let's bring this guy up because I got a little bit of hogging off to do. I say hogging off. I've got a little bit of material removal to do. Okay. All right. Let's I'm double checking everything here. So video's good, audio's good. All right, ready to start. Well, I guess I need that light back. And it might be helpful if my quill didn't just loosen up. That's more like it. Well, I guess I did have to do it that way, but there we are. Let's see. I can put the tongue's right there. Okay. So let's work with the shape here a little bit. I think that's pretty All right, let's see. I guess I'll just cut that off. I was thinking about grabbing my Jacob's chuck. Actually, I should do that. Grab my Jacob's chuck and force a bit, and we'll take a bunch of material out of there before I start doing the finish hollowing. So I'll grab that guy. It'll work. All right, come on. So we'll just open this guy up, and then I'll finish hollowing it. Turn the lid. Finish turning this dude. Turn the lid. It's not gonna work. There we go. Alright, that dude's gonna be a booger. So I'll have to drive it out. Let's see, I guess I'll set that right there for now. Alrighty then. I think I was, oh yeah, I was really close to the lowest speed on my lathe already. That's interesting. What the heck happened there? I bet you my hand wheel came loose. Yep. Sure as heck did. Why, he asks. Why did it come loose? I'll have to take the hand wheel off now and find the flat spots for my Allen screws. Oh, good Lord, come on. Alright, I guess I'll have to back them almost all the way out, which is, I don't recall that having to be necessary. Okay, another time for that. That's not cool. Okay, so that right there is a flat spot. I think I'm almost at the point of talking myself into buying another lathe. Come on now. Alright, what's my depth here? I can go a little bit further. All right. Now the hollowing will be just a little quicker. Put these two guys back in their holding positions. Let's see, move the mallet down. That's the guy I want right there. And having this guy around wouldn't hurt. Come on. And of course, I should probably set myself up to be on center here. It might be too much. Yep, a little bit. A little bit of some quick back hollowing. Oh, I maybe should have taken that deeper. Let's see. No, that's about right. And I could use some light on the subject and probably a different view. And I think that depth is just about right. Yeah, that'll do. So I got to work on the wall thickness some. Now we're getting somewhere. Ready? Yeah. Okay, almost there. That'll do. Yeah, I'll accept that wall thickness. I can turn off that light now. And now I just need to turn this dude around. Actually, what I need to do is finish sanding this guy. A little bit more. I think that'll do. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Now we're going to hollow the roof out. And while we're at it, we'll size that tenon. Okay. In my parting tool, if I can get it out of the toolbox. Alrighty then. Once again, too many tools right up here. Let me move some things around. There we go. Well, I don't need to use that. I can use the bull gouge. Well, that's what I get for not paying attention. All right, so this one's done. I got the, let's see if I got another piece I can use as a lid that I can turn really quick. I jammed the point of the tool into that accidentally, and doggone if it didn't just break the lid apart. Let's see, will that one work? No, not so much. This one would work. Alright. Just take one of my older jam chucks and we'll turn that into a lid. Come on. Move. And did I put that back away? No, so what did I do with it? Oh, there it is. So pretty close, that's still too big. There we go. Let's try this again. Oh, I know what I need to do. Excuse me. Beautiful. All right. Actually, I think I'll take that even deeper. Wrong tool. I'm cutting with the top wing on this tool now. Up to that point anyway. Yeah, I like it. All right, cool. So I don't need anywhere near that much tenon. Hopefully this is not a terrible choice. This is box elder. Very, very soft wood. Not one of my favorites to turn, but it's because box elder tends to split and crack, and anytime when it's going through, turning it green. And oftentimes I find ring checks in those trees, and that's something I don't want to turn. I don't want to turn anything that's got ring checks. That flies apart on the lathe. That might hurt a lot. Okay, so let's grab this guy. And that is center there. Bring it up a bit. Set the tool on edge, and I'll do a shear scrape right into that corner there. Lots of shavings, negative rake scraper. Scrapers are excellent, excellent tools. In fact, what I have learned is that scrapers were the first turning tools. There's a lot of people using them in, all over the world. And I picked up a tool bias for a while there, and I think I have worked my way out of that. For me, I really enjoy teaching wood turning. And for me, it's not necessarily. It's like, what tool will help you get the job done, right? I don't have. Oh no, this has to be done with a bowl gouge. This has to be done with a spindle gouge. This has to be done with that, and on and on and on. And that's just not the case. With enough practice. You saw I did the shear scraping in there with a negative rake scraper. I could have done it with anything else. Let me get my depth here before I get too far. Right there. Oh, nice. Okay, so I'm actually right here. That works. I think this is going to be too small, and I will have to swap chucks. Yep, so before I do that, oh, I've got a swap chuck for that too anyway, so cool. All right. And to start working on the burl over here, I'm going to be starting between centers as I do, as close to the balance point as I can get, so the chuck's got to come off anyway. All right, let's see. Would this actually work in this situation? No. I didn't think so, but it was worth asking. Need a different key. Well, there she is. Come on. Come on. All right, let's move that aside. Come on. I don't know use that for, but maybe smoker fuel or whatever. Starting the barbecue. That would starting the coals with cherry wood. It's not too far-fetched. I did that the other day. Okay, that is a real problem. And that is as far as I can drive that on, I think. I'm going to take a look at this hand wheel again, because I've got an 1/8 of an inch gap between it and the tailstock. And I think that's too much gap. It gives me play that I don't want. There we go. That should be good. Get these Allen screws tightened down again. Running pretty true. That works. Okay. So I'm just bringing this up. Nope, that's not the way I want to do it. To have a little bit of support, because I want to take slightly heavier cuts. To get rid of this mass here. So I'll bring up my tailstock. Close enough. He says. That might be cool. I love talking to people, and people say, "Oh, you can't turn coves and beads with a bow gouge." Yeah, you can. I mean, what do you think a bowl is? A bowl is a cove on the inside and a bead on the outside. Yes, you can. And you don't have to keep it to. I mean, you do have limitations on like how fine of a detail you can make with a bow gouge, but I mean, it's a great tool for turning bowls, and look how they turn out. So don't need to rely on just one specific tool for one specific job. In most cases, I really don't like unicasters all that much. I mean, there's a place for them. I mean, there's no other alternative. And that's okay. Tool designed with a specific task task. Yeah, I think that might be kind of cool. In fact, let's see, I can take that down a little bit more. Wrong tool. Well, not necessarily the wrong tool. I say the wrong tool because I'm intending to use the bowl gouge for this. I could have used that spindle gouge just fine, but I really want people to see that you can do this. Lyle Jameson used to have, actually, I think he still has the toolbox. Now, he was my first mentor. He used to carry a toolbox around, had a crescent wrench, just a bunch of different tools, just several different tools. He had a crescent wrench and a couple other tools. He had a screwdriver, and every single one of these tools had somewhere on the tool a sharpened edge. And that was one of the things that he would talk about too. It's like it doesn't. You can turn with whatever you've got. He still had tool biases that I had to work out of, but he's right. And so he would turn with do some turning with a crescent wrench, that particular edge, or the screwdriver, or whatever. So it's really not the tool that makes you a better turner. It's not the speed of the lathe that makes you a better turner. It is the practice and the practice, and I'm pretty sure I should probably mention the practice. But everybody can get to these levels. Everybody can get there if you put the time in. I understand everybody's got different skill sets, talents, different abilities, different levels. And so, it's not that I'm saying, oh, yes, you should copy everything. I mean, when I'm learning from another turner, I will copy them to the letter and do what it is that they're teaching. But once that bit part is over, then I'm taking that information and making it my own by using my own body mechanics to get those techniques and movements down and get that into my muscle memory. And then things start to flow. So, again, it doesn't matter what the tool is. I would have, granted, a little bit of difficulty trying to hollow this whole thing out with a bow gouge, but it could be done. Spindle gouge worked just fine. You saw how I took a Forstner bit and got rid of most of the mass anyway. I could have done the whole thing with a spindle gouge. I could have done the whole thing with a bowl gouge. Box scrapers, it doesn't matter. And I hope that the things that are shown on this particular broadcast help cement that in, that the skill sets you can learn. Let's see, I think I should put a bead in there, don't you? I'm going to go grab my smaller spindle gouge. I don't guess I really need to, but I'm going to anyway. Just in case, I might need that for a little bit finer detail. So I'm going to throw a bead here. There we go. Now, let's take the larger spindle gouge and see if I can just make this all the way up there without having to use the smaller one to get into that tighter area. And then this guy. Like that. And then I will take the smaller spindle gauge. Clean that up. And I'll give this one a bit more of a curve. Yeah. And then I'll turn this into a partial sphere. And I am going to double check my chuck here just to be sure that nothing is rattled loose, because chucks will loosen over time, or can. I probably should just say will, because it will happen. Let's see, I think I will just take another pass at that. And clean this up some. There we go. Beautimus. So just like my tools, I don't have a death grip on my abrasive. If it gets taken out of my hand, that's just fine. That means that I'm not getting pulled with it. I don't want to get pulled into the rotation. So I typically just hold this paper, whatever the abrasive is. In this case, it's the Velcro backed discs that I get from Vince's Wooden Wonders. But I'm just holding it with my fingertips. You don't have to put a lot of force into turning or sanding, and then working both off the lathe. But the idea is a steady, even pressure. It doesn't have to be white knuckling. If you're white knuckling, man, you're not doing it right. In my opinion, it should be one of those things that you just grab on and hold on for the ride. I want to have as much control over this as I can get, because I do have some control issues, but at least in the shop, that's a safe place to have issues like that. And so I don't mind that my control issues run rampant while I'm in the shop. And try my best not to have it bleed over into everyday life. But I want as much control as I can get while I'm working on this. I don't want to just like hang on for the ride. I don't want to break things. When I started turning, I started following YouTube. I didn't know there was a wood turning club in the area. I actually not even sure that I knew that was a thing. Did I know that? I don't know. But anyway, so my start was YouTube. And I learned really quickly that YouTube, I don't know if I still think it's the case today because it's a monetary platform, right? So people want you to view their videos. It's for the views. And so that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be doing the safest things. They want engagement. They want to have just like I do on Instagram and Twitch here, but I'm not trying to do something crazy to get your attention. There's at least one word turner I've heard about here on this platform that people tune in to see how many accidents he would have, and it's like, what? No, that's not a good game plan. It's just not. But it's my life that I can put that control in. I can't tell other people what they can and can't do. I can make suggestions, and so I enjoy teaching, and I always do my best to err on the side of safety. Yeah, there we go. And working within the body mechanics, not getting myself into weird positions. I want to be comfortable in doing this as safely as I can. There we go. That's nice. All right, so now it's time to change. Wait, did that? I don't know if this would actually hold out. Let me double check here. Oh, yeah, okay. Moving a little fast here. Let's take our time. There we go. Nope, don't need that yet. All right, so we're running through there. Let me move that birdhouse spot away. And this is, as I said, basswood. This is seasoned basswood. It's really, really soft. So I want to bring up my tailstock just if a piece breaks off or whatever, because it's so soft. I don't want it to come out of the chuck. Tra-la-la. Let's see. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do. Well, I didn't think I'd use up the whole thing, but it looks like that's going to happen, so we'll just go for it. I figure my job as an instructor is to help people become better turners with the working with the safety aspects, um, and best practices of the time. I figure the longer I want people to be able to turn for as long as they want to, as far as their lifetime is concerned. Um, and if you're fighting the process and you're beating yourself up, that almost actually smells like cedar. Ah, it was cedar. Okay. So I have a cedar roof for my birdhouse. That works. And the wall thickness is almost spot on. And I do my best to keep the speed of the tool constant. So I'm not trying to chase it off the edge. Pressure constant. And again, wood turning is mostly finesse. I don't want to have to white knuckle it. I mean, when I started, I did white knuckle it a lot because I was following bad advice and didn't know it. Nice. Nice. Okay, let's get this guy moved aside. Check this again. Oh, yeah, I did tighten down a little bit more. All right, so looking at this guy. There we go. I think something like that would be thin enough for this cedar. And let's see, let's roll that over into a bead. And then I can, yes, finish this curve. And I think I will go ahead and just flatten that bit out a little bit. Do I like the shape? Yeah, I do. Yep. Any changes I want to make, I'd have to make them now. Or at least do them before I take it out of the chuck. Come on. Paper go bye-bye. That's okay. My hand didn't get pulled in, so I'm okay with that. I'll pick that up later. Nice. All right, so now I'm going to do two more things. Let's see. Let's take this guy. And this guy. There we go. And I will need my 1/4" skew to start this dude off. Oh my. Quite a bit low there. There we go. Need the key. Alright, it's all set to go. Just need to glue everything together. And I brought the glue out here, so let me grab it. No, actually, I want to put it in here. Then I can place that. Let's get the grain orientation. There we go. And then that glue will run down into any cracks I didn't fill. And that should hold together nicely. So let me go put this inside. Say right about there. That works. And now let's take a look at this piece of maple. No, you are a piece of white oak. I don't need you right now. All right, let's see. Let's get ready for this guy. Some things rearranged here. Okay, these can go back in here for now. This is the guy I want on the lathe. Let's put that away. And the glue over there. I should grab that guy. Okay, so this is that kind of burly piece of wood. There's a branch going in somewhere in there. I think that might be it. So there's some bark inclusions as well that I suspect are going to run all through this. So I'm going to be careful with this guy. There is a possibility, because of these bark inclusions, that things could fly off. I'm doing the assessment. I cut this myself, but I do want to check because I couldn't see everything in that time that we were taking to cut things up and transport. Okay. Stack, whatever. All right, so first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of this bark. I need to have a good solid wood.
3F6PD said, best viewers.
Hey, welcome to the channel. Their individual washstand. That's kind of funny. Appreciate you engaging in chat, coming out to the channel, check it out. Thank you very much. Hope your day's going well. I won't be visiting your link for quote unquote best viewers. I get a lot of those. But I do appreciate you hanging out. Get rid of this cambium layer. I want to get right down to the actual timber. All right, so this is actually not what I was expecting. This is actually a really good solid piece of timber here. I was wondering if there would be, I was kind of thinking there might be some weaker timber, maybe some bark inclusion showing up here. Maybe this burly mass covered a hole somewhere in there. I do see that there's a little bit of hole down in here. It doesn't go very far, but I don't know what caused it. Like if it was a branch that came out, broke off, you know, and it got grown over or whatever, but we're going to find out. This is some definitely green wood. I think the tree was felled. When was the tree felled? Saturday, maybe? And then we were able to come in after the professional tree guys left. Start sectioning things up. There's a mighty big maple tree. I'm hoping that this will be some really interesting stuff. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. so I'm going to start off on the balance point. And let's see, where do I want to start that, dude? I think I want to start it somewhere over there. So maybe I should take some more of this off. Got to work at this one. This was a healthy maple tree. It just had in the main trunk there was a fork and it was starting to split apart. And rather than just having it fall on their neighbor's house or their house or whatever, they said, hey, now's the time that we should probably get some professionals in here to do something with that.
Hi there, buddy.
Hey, how's it going, man? All right, so that would fly off. That would fly off. That won't fly off. That would. That one. Oh, let's get that one. Okay, let's take a look at this guy.
Said, I'm good, just playing a new game I got for free.
Oh yeah, what'd you get? Oops, I've got stuff on my confuser. Okay. I need this guy. And I think I need to bring the points out a little bit.
Verify FS Flight Simulator.
Oh, okay. Very, very cool. I've got a friend who is a Navy veteran, and he likes to play those kinds of games on and Google Flight, I guess, simulator. There's a Google Flight simulator on Google Maps. He likes to play that too, but he's got an actual game that lets him choose aircraft and fly it around. I think it's kind of cool. All right. Now, where do I want to start here? Probably need to have the larger tool rest. Longer tool rest, not larger. Well, I guess it is larger too. Now, if I start, I really kind of want to start somewhere like that, which means this will have to come off. Where is it? There it is. Come on. It would be nicer to be using a larger chisel, but I don't know what I did with my, it's probably in my travel bag. But in any case, this is fairly easy because the grain is running this way, so anywhere I cut in, pretty much I can split. I think that's probably okay. I had choices. One of the choices was a chainsaw, and I just didn't want to stop what I'm doing to go out and grab a chainsaw. Or take this out. Okay, so that should do. Let's see. Let's get this thing up here. So I need to set that there. Try not to bump the camera. Alright, I think it's gonna be pretty heavy on the bottom end. But I could be wrong. It could be the top end. Let's do this. Okay. It was the top end. Well, looks like I'm taking some more bark off. Mallet. This guy. I don't want my points going through bark because bark compresses so easily that the hold would not be as secure as I would like when I'm using the actual timber. So I want to get through all this and get down to the timber so that the points will have something solid. I mean, it's green wood, it's still somewhat compressible, but not nearly as much as the bark. Come on. And in some spots, the bark is mighty thick. Let's get rid of that. And maybe that. All right, let's leave that there for now. And let's try that spot. And then say that spot. Okay, now I'm heavy on the bottom. Okay. Let's go that far. Okay, I'll raise this side up a little bit. Ooh, we're getting there. Too far in the wrong direction. There we go. So this is going to throw a lot of water out too, which will be interesting. So wherever I move it, if it doesn't want to shift, so my points are pretty loose. Really close. So I'm just going to go with that. Okay, now that I have, well, not quite. Let's get this established so I know right where I need to go back to, because I'm going to bring this tailstock up closer so I can shorten the quill, because the quill is going to add vibration the longer it is extended, the more my vibration it can create. Right? Am I right? Was that right? Yeah. Okay. So I'm constantly checking because I want to make sure this is secure in the lathe. I don't want it to come off. That tends to be painful sometimes. All right, let's get that guy set up. Come on. Any of that clear? No. Okay. We'll go clear here. Not that. Nope. I bet you. That might be my issue. Yes. All right, and I need the longer tool rest. Oops. There. All right, let's make sure all of this is going to clear. What am I going to get away with there? Not that. Bring it back out. Okay, that's all going to clear. Check it again now that everything is tightened down. Take these things off the lathe in case I was mistaken. And this is not so much the balance point. Okay, here we go. Well, had a piece of bark just fly right off. I'm sure glad it didn't hit one of these light bulbs. So I'm turning at 400 RPM, and I'm going to leave it there. Not sure what flew off. Oh, all this. There was that hole. Oh, no, that's the hole I was talking about. Well, that's a new one. I think I need to get a flashlight and see how deep that goes. Oh, there it is. It's going to reach into the, don't turn off the garage light, Dave. House there, but all the lights are off. It's dark. I'm like, what the hell? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's after 9, or I think. What time is it? Oh, it's right at 9:10. And I just lost my picture. There we go. All right, let's take a look here. That's not it. Ah, there is a sow bug in there. People call them roly-polies. So he's breaking down that stuff. Okay, I don't know how deep that goes. Let's see. I think I'm going to need a probe. Because what I was looking for was a natural opening. Ooh, yeah, that's open all the way down in there. So there's dirt in there, which I was kind of expecting, but I did not realize that this void was here. I was looking at the other void, and it's not as deep. Oh, this is bullshit. Pardon me, I'll be right back. These batteries have started to get really faded power, so I need a flashlight that I can actually see with. It needs to be bright enough. So we'll get some new batteries here. I know I saw them in here. Where the heck are they? Oh, other drawer. That's right. There we are. Come on. I can go there. Fresh batteries. Hey, look at that. So bright now. Digging out some of this dirt.
Mav K14.
Hey,
said,
Mav.
"Go look a spit."
How you doing, man? There we go. Knock that dirt out, I hope. Tighten that down some. All right, so there is a void there. That may be where I want an entrance hole to be, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to rough this out a little bit more. Or a little bit. I haven't roughed it out at all, have I? Other than cutting it with a chainsaw and removing some bark. I have not done much with this. Okay, let's see. I need to have that. Okay. Turning at 400 RPM. I don't want to speed it up too much. This is as slow as my lathe can go, but I wouldn't drop down to anything lower necessarily. But I have some vibration, very minor, until I get this past them. Whoa, hello. Tool rest moved on me. So will this now fit underneath? Yay, that was what I was after. Now I can get in the center of this dude. All that's gonna clear, right? Come on, straighten up. There. Yes, okay, groovy.
Mav K14 said, "Stump turning next on as the wood turns."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we had I went to help out section up a tree that had to come down because the two main trunks on this maple, this 4 foot wide maple at the base, were starting to split apart. And there was bark in between all that, but because it was starting to split apart, they hired tree company to come in and bring the thing down so they didn't fall on their neighbor's house or on their house. But so they dropped it all, and then we were out there today cutting a lot of it up. Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, so I took some material off and now it's definitely heavier in the bottom now. Oh, man, look at all this figure. I wonder if you can see this from overhead, maybe, without that light going. See all this? Let me see if I can get it in the right light. There's a lot there, a lot of figure in there. But there's going to be a lot of figure throughout this thing. It's just a big gnarly thing. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not burly at all. It's definitely got the growth pattern for it. So I don't know until we get in here. It may not be burly at all. All right. All right, so that is a hole. That's another one. I think that would be okay just leaving it as one. There's probably another one right in there. And that is a boatload of bark. Okay. Whoa, hello. That's not good. That's not good. The green wood has compressed, so everything loosened up, and now I gotta tighten it up again. When I kicked on the lathe, the drive center spun before the wood started turning. So let's get this dude secure again. Whoa, hello. I think wood turning is great therapy because it is important to focus on where you're at right now instead of in the past or whatever crazy things your mind may want to bring to your attention at any given moment. Instead, this requires a lot of focus and attention, so it calms that kind of stuff down. Come on. So I'm having a little bit of trouble because the tool is dull. But I will swap out the tool steel here in a minute. Still use the other side, and it's still sharp. That tool has moved again. But this thing is spinning around, and all that force in between cutting air and then that wood hitting the tool does tend to make things move a little bit. Let's double check my hole there. There we go. All right, so it does look like there might be another hole right there. A lot of bark. And this will be an interesting piece if it stays together. I'm hoping that it will all stay together. Let's change out the tool steel here for something a little sharper. They say you should sharpen often. I keep 4 or 5 bowl gouges ready to go. So I sharpen often, but you know, in the moment, I just have to swap this out instead of going to the grinder. Yep, definitely out of balance again. So I'm not really seeing any burly stuff in here, but there is some figure in there. So let's start taking some material off here. And then back here. All right. Lots of interesting stuff in here, it looks like. You know what? I think I want to take that out of there. Mallet. Okay. So hole there, maybe a hole there. That's a pretty good sized one. That would be kind of cool if I could make that the entry hole. He says. So I think I'll take it down a little bit more here. Not cutting so much air. Only cutting as fast as the tool will cut. I'm not trying to force it. What's the deal here? Oh, the tool rest is too high. I'm still cutting way too much air to get some really awesome cuts here. So let's take some of this down some more. That's all going to clear. There we go. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that would be perfect. That would be really awesome if I can do that. Let's see. I don't know how I pull that off. I couldn't fill it with anything. I think I will just leave it a void in the side. Trying to figure out like how I would get my center there and stay there, because there's nothing for it to hold on to. I could fill that with like acrylic resin or whatever, but then, well, I have to hollow it out anyway. Oh man, there is so much figure all over this. That is awesome. How will that show with this guy being the center? Oh, just everywhere. Okay, cool. So I'm sold. I'm gonna fill this with resin. I probably will put some sand in there first. Something to pack it down, and then I don't have so much to fill with resin. So that's where this guy's going. Okay. I'll get some quick setting resin. And this, so that means I need to put this guy, do I really need to put this guy in a bag? Yeah, I need to put this guy in a bag. Let me see here. Okay, if that's it, then I want that part still to be round. So I still do some work here. Before I take this all the way off the lathe, let's check our hole there. Okay, that'll work. And then that should be good for now. Let's see. Let's do this. Oh, well, something fell off the lathe here. A couple things. What is that? Oh, all my chucks fell off. Ah. All right. So I'm going to bag this guy. I will do that resin, and if I got enough tonight, I'll do it tonight. If not, I'll do it tomorrow. Go pick up some resin in town, and I'll fill that, and then I'll finish turning this soak. Yeah. That's as far as we're getting with this guy. So that'll look really, really interesting once it's turned, I think. And I wasn't sure where I was going to have the entry hole, but since that dude showed up, we'll use that. Okay. That aside over to here. And I'll grab the other piece, I think. Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, I forgot that's heavy. Oh, pretty much freshly cut maple bits. Full of water. Oh, I need to move things around. Okay. Thump. And I need to pick stuff up. Okay, come here. Ugh. You know, this might actually be pushing the limits of my lathe. That's a heavy piece. I would have to have this side towards the headstock. Well, I will try it, but I think that I might need to move on to something else because something came off the lathe and gave me a slight little cut. Because this might be too heavy for the 1-horse motor I got on this thing. First things first. I have to borrow a friend's lathe for this guy. And that friend might even be watching right now, Joe. Okay, let's see. Let's move that guy there. And then this guy here. And we'll set the tailstock. And we'll start, say, right there. I think that's going to be heavy in the bottom. Or the top, I mean. Nope, I was right. It's in the bottom. Whoa! Yeah, we can't have that. That's not cool. Get back up there. Where was that? Right there. Might be good. What's not clearing? Oh, that's not clearing. Is anything else clear? That's good. That's good. It's that corner. Okay, now that corner clears. How about this corner? Of course not. So, all right, I'm going to have to trim this guy too. I thought this was, I didn't measure across the diagonal. It turns out, and that's what I should have done because I have a 13.5-inch swing. Damn it, that's not what I wanted to do. Come on now. Get up there. All right, let's try that again. This is one heavy piece of wood. Okay. So I think this corner is not going to clear. Okay. Which means... Oh, come on. Bring that up a little bit. So now that corner clears. And that corner clears. Okay. So I will work with the balance point from the tailstock side. Whoops. Okay, raise this up a little bit. I think I just goofed that up too. Yep, sure did. Not too far. What's catching? Something's catching somewhere. Okay. Raise that up a little bit. I don't think I did. Nope. Yeah, I don't believe that for a second. I may have to bring my points out some more. I heard that knock again. Where is that? Probably that. Yep. It's not much. This one I definitely don't want to be out of balance with. And it may take me a minute to get there. So still got to take it down. All right. Oh, dang it. I lost that point. And now I have no idea if that's even close. All right. There. Move that guy out of the way. It didn't take much, man. I barely moved it an eighth of an inch and it flipped 180 degrees. So let's try just a shade. Still wanting to be. Maybe a little light might help me too. Okay, so we're saying that that is the heavy end, okay? That's probably too much. There, now it's loose enough. It's a touchy dude, man. It's just not taking much to move it even a little bit. Jeez, okay. Let me see if I can split the difference there. Not quite. This is the fiddliest part of all of this, is getting pieces like this on their balance point. Especially when they're green, full of so much water. I'm going to have some serious vibration on this guy if I can't get it. Nah, no. That's not how that's going to work. Yeah, you're not doing that to me. There. Not hitting anywhere. I think I hit it. I don't know. Let me take everything off the lathe and turn it on and see what happens after I have it secured in the lathe anyway. Don't need this light now. Man, I hope that's not the case. I think I might be getting into... Oh, I see what's happening. The tailstock is sliding back. Yeah, I'm not getting a good hold here. Oh, maybe I just started getting one. Okay, something is rubbing somewhere, and I can't tell where that is. Oh, there. So let's grab this guy. We're just going to remove the problem.
Nav K14 said, look, we made a stump into firewood, chopped wood logs.
Well, I will say the ones that don't quite make it do wind up somewhere near the firewood. Then, yeah, now I'm way bottom heavy here. Ooh, I don't know, man. I think I would be smarter going with a larger lathe for this guy. Hey, man, I got really close to the balance point, though. Not really getting much. Getting some vibration. Oh.
Nav K14 said, that's talent.
No, that was luck. Okay, so at least I can see that we are secure, but I really am concerned that... Come on. That's it. Work in there. This might be a little much for the lathe. But let's see what we can do. Okay, that's not going to clear there. Come on, get over. That's where I need to be. And then closer there. So that clears, and that clears there. So let's try that. That clears. That clears. So I'll be cutting a lot of air here. How's my tool? I could swap it out. Hummity hum hum hum. We'll go with the next sharp guy. Well, let's see. It's going to take a minute to slow down. Yep, that's a heavy piece of timber. Okay, that's still not going to clear my tool rest. But all of this is, so I can come in a little bit closer. And a little bit closer this way now. Slowly start working my way down. Let's check the tailstock. No, there will be none of that. Tool rest moved a little bit and started knocking against the timber. It's like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Can I clear that now? Hey, all right. Now I can move over. That will clear, that will clear, that will clear, that will clear. All right. Okay, now I can move over a little bit more. I'm getting kind of wet. All right, will that clear? Yes, that will clear. And will that clear? Yes. Okay. Make sure. Yep, there we go. Check all the connections. There we go. Sorry, I'm not talking much. I'm really concentrating on this. Oops, that went too far. Yep, that went too far. Whoa, wait a minute. Okay, I see what the issue is. So you can use, whatever tool you want to use to when you're in a situation like this. A lot of people use spindle roughing gouge, and I can use either. I just happen to have the bowl gouge in my hand, and there's no reason to go to another tool. Tons of figure in here. Looks like there's going to be a bunch in there too. That's awesome. This is a crotch piece, so very cool. All right, now I can move over. Make sure all this clears. That clears. That does not clear, Dave. There you go. Too, especially with vibration, but with turning period, I think that might actually make it underneath there. Maybe. Nope, not quite. So we'll have to take that diameter down a little bit more. Okay. But I don't want to have to fight it. I don't want to have to white knuckle it. This should be relatively copacetic, man. I'm cutting a lot of air. There's a lot that is. I don't want to have to give up because, oh yeah, I overdid it as a turner. Yeah, no, I don't want to. I don't want to be that way. I want to be able to do this. It's an enjoyable thing. It's relaxing. It's meditative. And because I enjoy it, I want to be able to continue doing it for as long as possible. So that's why I teach the way I teach. I want other people to have the same opportunities. Okay, that clears. Can I get a little bit further over? Yes. Okay. I think I'm getting kind of soaked. Okay, will this go underneath? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right, so I see here, I'm going to have bark inclusions right in here. This is where the branches came together, was right there. So I can see that there's some bark inclusion there. I'm pretty close to the area that I want to have as my entry point. I do intend this to be at least one hollow form. Might get two out of it. So I got to be careful with this. Fortunately, I've got, 180 degrees. I got half the log, or half the tree, so to speak, and half the tree. So I've got this mass and this mass. It's here in the middle that I want to worry about. But because I've got the suture goes all the way down, this is going to be pretty solid, so it should hold this together. But I still want to assess the wood as I go. Little things are going to start showing up, and they might be pretty important. Right now, it's just all the rough stuff. I had to slow down quite a bit because the wood wants to be cut going the other direction. It's a lot easier cut, and we'll see that when we look at the surface of this dude. I'll come back across about halfway and we'll see the difference. I'm getting a little tear out here on the very, very ends, but that's expected, especially since I'm coming off the end. Now this is fairly smooth-ish, but I've got this tear out, so if I go this way, that's about halfway. And I'll clean this side up so we get a better comparison. So that's the halfway point. Oh, I want to touch it, but no, I don't want to touch it. Stop turning. Okay. So, not bad. Got a little bit of tear out going this way. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's little bitty pieces, little bitty bits that are torn out here. And here, there's nothing like that going this direction. So, I'll be turning this way. Let's see. Let's move that over. I haven't turned something this green in a while. Okay, so that surface is fairly straight. Let's see how she looks. I know I'm still cutting a ton of air here. And this shape here that is the round shape that I'm going to take in. So this will eventually be round. Okay, so the bark inclusion comes down this far on that side. But I could see that the tree sutured up more quickly on this side than it did here. So there's a lot more wood before I get to that bark inclusion, which is right about in here. But on this side, I'm already at it. Pardon me. A sneeze and had to blow my nose. What are we looking at? 10 o'clock. All right. We'll keep going. Try to get some of this off my computer. There we go. Okay, so there is going to be a lot of figure in here. That is so excellent. All right, so I think here I'll take this down to round to get out of cutting air. It's got to go anyway. And I'm using the entire wing of the bow gouge to hawk this off. But I feel comfortable doing it because I have the practice. If you don't feel comfortable doing it this way, just nibble it smaller, half or a third of the tool, cutting edge rather. Okay. So now. Okay, getting there. Oh, you can't actually see down there. There we go. Awesome. Beautiful. Easy peasy. There we go. Okay, now you can see the... Oh, that's something different, but that's a bark inclusion for sure. All right, let's work this. Oh, still got quite a bit. Okay. And then this. So that wing is dull. slow speed. There we go. Okay, now lots of cool stuff is showing up. Got to be careful with this. It does look like it comes all the way down to here at some point. The other side comes down to about here, I think. So, yeah, that's tracking to be about the same. So I've got a lot of bark inclusion happening there. That may change. How I hollow this. Or how I hollow one of these. Because this is not going to be just one. How does that look? Not bad. Okay. All right. There, turned a quarter of a bead with the bow gouge. How about that? All kinds of figure right there, figure there, figure here, figure all of that. That figure, yeah, this is going to be really, really nice. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, let's think about this. I got to figure out now where I want to separate this at some point. I really want to get rid of that too, so let's do that. Oops. Yeah, sorry about that. You're no longer seeing what I was doing. Almost gone. Okay, now the flat spot is gone. Okay. So I think that I am going to cut this in half, or my cut line is going to be, oh boy, excuse me, maybe in here. That will be the top for the other hollow form, so I can get this set for a tenon. And then the tenon will need to go down here for this guy, because that's the top. Oh, wow, man. There's my lathe is just coated in water. I can see the cast iron is rusting and darkening, too. That's a lot of water. Yum. Okay. All that's going to clear? Yeah. I need a wee bit of light, but not right in my face. Turn this down.
Dissimilar topping. Said best viewers.
See, I get that a lot. It's awesome. You are dissimilar toppings. Yes, thank you for joining the channel, coming by. Appreciate it and participating in chat. Thank you very much. Every little bit helps to support this channel. I think it's awesome. Actually, it's funny. I've actually picked up a couple of followers who were sending those kind of things in my chat, and then they hung around and started watching. Now they're following. It's like, yeah. Everybody's welcome, man. Unless you're an asshole. But I think that's covered in the chat rules, so we're all good. Spindleless gouges, just so I can get that little dovetail in there for the Vic mark. And I want to get rid of this. Well, not get rid of it, but make it small enough that it won't be in the way of the chuck jaws closing in the center. That'll go right down in there. Okay, so now I can remove that dude. Yes. We're moving along well. Yeah, I really think. Well, let's take a look here. Yeah, I was just thinking 6 inches. So 6 inches is there. 6 inches is there, and I got all of this. 3 inches to play with. Do I put it right in the middle? Do I make this one a little bit bigger? Maybe this one a little bit bigger. You know, I'm gonna do it right there. I think that's where I want it. Well, let's see. Hold on. Let me grab this, bring this over, and let's trace a line and see where this bar conclusion might meet anything. There's another one. It's not the one that's opposite of the one I just drew a line on. That I can see now it's starting to the suture is starting to actually show up. So the bark inclusion comes to here now, but I can follow the suture line. So yeah, that continues all the way down to here, just like this one. Let's see if I follow that line down. Okay, it actually goes right to here. So let's draw that line. So you can see that it meets down here. So that's tracking pretty cool. All right, so this is where I'm going to want to cut it in half. And I'm going to do that with the chainsaw, because it'll go fast. How are we looking like on time? 10:30. All right, I'll pull this one off, and we'll start working on another guy. This is fairly well roughed out. It's now a billet. I just need to cut it here. We have 6. Yep, I just need to cut that one. So let's XX, 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 XX. So yeah, I want it right in there. So that's going to be that gap is where my chainsaw is going to go through. Okay. So that was very close to pushing the limits of my lathe with the 1-horse motor. It's still got some weight to it, but you can see that's what I'm after, is that as the entry point right there, so that this is part of that. And if I do this, will that show up? Yeah, it's awful bright, but okay, that doesn't wash out so much. So this will be the entry point. I will get this set up to where so this is birch. It's kind of punky, and it's got some split in it here, but I think I'm going to turn the box out of that. Come on. Ugh. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. That'll be close enough. Da-da-da. How am I looking on? So there's no stress on my body whatsoever. The tool is almost self-feeding. I'm barely pushing it with my thumb. That was some of that wood that was split. Yep, and another piece. Another piece. Ooh, man. Okay. This is really punky, it looks like. So I'm going to go a little bit more, but I may give up on this piece. Whoa, yep. All those splits. Okay, I'm not using that guy. We want to be safe. That is... Now that split, I did not see that split there. I saw a little bit here. So, it's very often that you won't be able to see the whole entire thing. Um, but again, that's why I say you need to assess your wood. You need to continually assess as you're turning so that you stay safe, or as safe as possible. I don't want stuff flying off the lathe at me or even in my general direction. I have been hit in the chest only once, and it was in my pretty sure it was my first year of turning. It might have been my second year of turning. Uh, but fortunately, it was a glancing blow. But that was a very important lesson. You have to make sure that your material is secure in the lathe, and you continually assess it because it is a naturally growing. I mean, it's a naturally growing entity, right? And no two are the same. There's even variation within the same trunk. So you should always be looking out for that stuff. Now, what did I do? I'm looking for... Oh, come on, up. Oh, my knees are killing me today. After all that wood cutting, I'm looking for my Grex sander. What's this? It's a painting brush that is dry, hard, and solid. That needs to go away. Why was that a painting brush that was dry, hard, and solid? I don't know. Me being lazy, I guess. All right, where's that sander? Oh, there, right there. Okay. All right, so I think we're close to... What are we looking at? Well, it's 10:30, but I think we're close to calling it an evening for this particular broadcast. I got some blanks started, and looks like I definitely need to clean the water off this camera. Still looks really blurry. So I didn't get all the water. There we go. And that guy is sealed, so I don't have to worry about that one. This is the camera that I got to worry about with any kind of water issues. And this is the one that glitches, so it will be replaced in the not too distant future. Yay! All right, so yeah, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and call it. I've got half an hour, and I could turn a bowl, or there's a lot of things I can do in half an hour. But spent, sorry, excuse me. A lot of the afternoon being a sawyer, got a lot of really good wood, and helped a fellow turner out by helping clean up his yard and getting that big old monster tree sectioned up so it can be moved easier. And not only that, there's extra wood there for the turning club, and if I need to go back and get some more, but I got a lot of the thicker trunk that was between 3 and 4 feet wide. Got rid of all the pith and stuff in there, so now I just have solid timber, no piths, no bark inclusions that are visible, and so that stuff should dry really, really nicely with very few splits, very few checks or cracks. I got rid of the pith entirely, and so I've got some really nice turning blanks, or really nice timber for turning. They're not blanks yet. Um, yeah. So it's been a productive day. A lot of that and the roughing these things out, going through. So I think I'm going to call it an evening. It has been a physical day. Um, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me this evening. Thank you very much for the support. I greatly appreciate it. For those who happen to stumble in, and dissimilar toppings might be one of those folks who has not been here before. I don't recognize the handle. My name is Dave. I'm a wood turner, and I started turning as therapy for PTSD. I'm a disabled vet. I found out I had a knack for it, fell in love with it, found out I had a knack for it, and then I started teaching it, and I fell in love with that. So I started this channel to become a better teacher and a better demonstrator, and of course, a better turner, because the more practice I get, the better turner I become. I'm always looking to improve my turning skills. I have no trouble taking classes from other turners or learning from other turners and sharing what I've got. But I really enjoy being a teacher. And I enjoy teaching this. I'm also a beekeeper. I enjoy working with the bees too and teaching that. So the opportunity to be able to do this online with an audience is pretty phenomenal, I think. So thank you for joining me. I'm going to wrap it up this evening. I will be back again next Tuesday and Wednesday for sure, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. I probably be endeavor that you take, especially if you don't have any experience with it. You have to allow yourself time to learn how to do it. You have to allow yourself the permission, give yourself permission to make the mistakes, because you're going to be learning as you go, and mistakes will be made, even with professional turners who've been doing it for decades. Still make mistakes. Sometimes, in my opinion, anyway, probably most of that is that they're at the lathe too long and they're starting to lose focus. I know it happens to me. It happened to me last night. And so I will step away from the lathe when that starts happening, because it's dangerous to not have the focus that's necessary to do this. Um, but even the pros make mistakes. It's not a thing that's ever going to go away. Again, we're working with ever changing, growing material, timber, and the trees, which are really important to our ecosystem, are a an entity unto themselves. They're intelligent. They speak to each other. They have networks. Sorry, the word for the fungus and all that, pathways that the trees and forests have to talk to each other. It's an amazing thing. But in each and every tree is different, and even in the same tree, you'll have variations in the wood, whatever that tree experienced and had to heal over or grow over or adapt to or whatever. So every single piece of wood is going to be different, and it's important. And I know I've said this probably about a dozen times today, but it's important to assess what you're working on as you're going, because things change and they can change fast. And I'd like them to change at a much slower pace. So that means that I've got to pay attention to what's going on. If I have something that's, like this last piece that with the bark inclusions, being really cognizant of that, because there's a possibility that could fly apart on the lathe. Now there's enough good solid wood surrounding all of that shouldn't be an issue. But I've had burls come apart on the lathe. They've been filled with fungus. You can't see it. I've had pieces that have come apart on the lathe because of bark inclusions that I could not see. I just took away enough material that it exposed it, and then exposing it exposed the whole weakness, and then that fell apart. Fortunately, I've not been seriously injured, but again, this is an inherently dangerous endeavor to undertake. And I don't want to scare anybody away because it's entirely doable. It's just that it takes focus and practice. So I do want to encourage you to, if you have not turned before, you have an interest, find a local turning club. Get hooked up with some of those folks, and I'm sure there'll be somebody there that might even want to or be willing to have you come out to their place and maybe get an idea of what it's like to turn on the lathe. Maybe they might even give you some instruction. I don't know, but I should definitely find a good quality wood turner to teach you the basics. The basics, the foundation of everything, beads and coves. Beads and coves is a big deal. I know a lot of people, I did too, a lot of people, you get tired. I'm doing beads and coves, I'm doing beads and coves. I'm glad that I did and have done as many as I have because it has only improved my turning. And bowls are a bead and a cove. The bead's on the outside, the cove's on the inside. You're always going to turn beads and coves. A sphere is a bead. Uh, all those shapes that you can create on the lathe um, are beads, coves, V cuts, straight lines. And the combination of all those with the cuts that you make, that is what gives you the form. So yeah, I highly encourage if you have any inkling that you want to do this because it really is an enjoyable pursuit. It is. I find it very relaxing, um, except for the times where I have a sketchy piece of wood. It's not so relaxing until I get past the sketchy part. I mean, not that I'm anxious or whatever, but I'm really, really focused on. All right, I got to watch that because uh, things can change, as I said, really fast, and my reaction time is still up there, pretty good. But I'm getting older, and it's going to decrease as I go. So I don't want to be stuck in front of the lathe. And I always try to stay out of the line of fire anyway. You see me as I'm turning, I'm off to one side or another from the tool rest here, right? I'm not standing right here most of the time because this is where all that stuff is coming over. So I want to be off to one side or the other, stay out of the line of fire as much as I possibly can. It's not always possible. Sometimes you've got to be right here at the tool rest. But in my case, like most of the time, the pieces are they're already round. The wood is solid all the way through, and I don't have to really rough things out. So if I'm right here doing details, right at the center of the tool rest, it's actually not that. It's not unsafe. I'm always checking my security of the hold, and I'm always assessing the wood. So I'm always doing my best to err on the side of safety. And if something happens, I'm going to be more safe than I would if I didn't. Right. So it's always that focus and always that attention to detail. But again, I think we should have more Turners in the world. This is the material that we have literally grows on trees. I myself don't ever have to worry about cutting down a tree. I get storm damaged trees. I get arborist cuttings. We just had a guy had to take a tree down because of the dam or the tree was starting to split apart. Get wood that way. It's nice that I don't have to go cut down a tree every time, and I wouldn't want to. Uh, um, uh, we need that carbon sequestration. We need the oxygen. We need the foods that trees provide. I don't want to decimate them, but I do want to honor them. And with turning and the stuff that I'm able to prove to bring it on the lathe, I do my best to do that. Anyway, I think turning is an amazing endeavor. Uh, I I highly recommend you trying it out. If you've only tried it, maybe you only did it in grade school or high school. Maybe you're my age when we had that kind of thing in regular school curriculum. Welding. shop class, auto class, home ec, typing was one. That was actually an elective, just like all the other ones were, but it was available. And now in schools, you don't have that anymore, which I think is a shame. I really do. I learned how to stick weld when I was 12. I mean, come on. I still have that knowledge in my head. I haven't stick welded in a long, long time, but I at least have the working knowledge of it in my head. Whereas I'm not going at something blind. And I'm not saying there's not a lot of DIY and books and blah, blah, blah out there, but I had personal experience going through school, learning how to work thermoplastic resins, learning how to work thermoplastics, learning how to work with wood and metal, casting. I did metal casting, pouring into molds, all kinds of stuff. So it's kind of a shame. And I never did get to actually turn wood when I was in those kinds of classes. Um, that was the school that I was at didn't have a wood lathe, but they had a whole setup for welding, cutting torches, to teach all this stuff. That's how that and my stepdad are how I learned to work on the cars that I had back then. Back when you could do that. I'm right now relegated to changing tires. I can still change brakes because it's still a possibility. I can't work on anything under the hood anymore. I can change the oil, make sure I can check all the fluids and all that. But there's nothing else I can work on there anymore because it's all computerized and electronic. I can't do it. Those days are gone. But I have the experience. But you can have the experience of wood turning now and carry that on and share that with other people. And that would be something, I think that would be a lasting legacy. I really think we need more wood turners in the world. And I'm sure potters say the same thing, maybe painters saying the same thing, but there's a whole lot of painters up here and not that many wood turners. So I think the painters have got that part covered. We just need to fill in all the blanks for the other stuff. Anyway, thanks again, folks, for joining me. I'm going to quit rambling on and all that and call it an evening. I hope you stay friendly. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I hope to see you the next Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. And keep your eyes open. You will get a notification if I go. I do plan on going live as soon as that resin is set to turn that piece. So that will be, see, today's Wednesday, probably Saturday, maybe Sunday. Keep your eyes peeled for that notification. That's the plan. We'll see how it works out. All right, folks. Thank you much.